Hey, it's James from survivalpunk.com. Good morning. It is not a chilly morning. I do believe it is, my friends, 60 degrees. If I had to guess, I was going to say 60 degrees, but I thought I would just look at it. Today we're going to talk about strength. I feel like we've covered this again. I'm trying to find some good topics. Going into the warm season, I definitely have a couple wild edible episodes coming up, but we're going to talk about strength. Basically, physical fitness. Why it is absolutely a survival topic for a lot of reasons, and why you need to do it. Before we get into that, though, let's take a listen to our morning theme music.
In the shadow of the old stone bridge, we make our plans, don't need no hedge. Making tools from broken chains, hammer echoes, we break the reins. Candlelight on the workshop bench, fix what we can, come hell.
And we're back. Strength. I definitely need to reach out and get a guest or two on some physical fitness things. I want to get a CrossFitter on here because I really feel like I could talk about the concept of general physical fitness all day long. If that is not a prepping principle, I don't know what is. But I'm going to basically cover that today. So I have a plan that I've been putting together. I'm almost done with it, the plan. I'm almost done finalizing all of the details and getting all of the supplements that I need to implement the plan, but it's going to be a 3-month intensive strength building phase. So you can't really, to preface this, you can't coast on strength forever, right? I can't, and you can't, nobody can say, go work out for 3 months and that's it. That's all you need forever. However, I can absolutely vouch for this that, one, you can make a lot of gains in, say, a 3-month time span. If you are very optimized and dedicated to your training, and you're not just going to the gym and just kind of fucking around, right? If you are a gym going person, you have invariably seen the unfocused people, right? And there's all kinds of different levels of the unfocused person, right? You have your socialite, if you go to the gym, it's just kind of going around, sup bro, what's going on? And they're more interested in kind of just chit-chatting. You have the people that live in front of the mirror and are just watching the fucking mirror. And you have the people that don't have a plan. They don't have a routine. They just they go from like machine to machine. They walk around and look at stuff. I mean, granted, there have been times where I've been at the gym. I didn't have a specific goal in mind. I just kind of wanted to move, right? I just kind of wanted to get the blood flowing, and that's fine, right? But that's not what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about focused, purposeful training with the end goal of significantly improving your strength, right? We don't want to be no soy boy bitches. One, as a man, you should be strong. It is a subjective term, right? Strong can mean all sorts of things. However, there are metrics. There are general standards that you should strive for. And there are there are like bottom floor numbers that you should be above, right? I haven't been to the gym consistently in many years. And I can tell that my strength has gone down. I mean, I can tell via the fact that I have um, gone in there and done some testing, right? I've kind of tried to gauge my baseline testing here, but I unfortunately I don't have my old Facebook, so I can't look up what my old CrossFit Total numbers were. CrossFit Total is a push press, which is you have a barbell on, say, your chest, basically holding it up by your clavicles, press it and lock it out overhead. A deadlift, a squat, a back squat, and a bench press. Those 4 numbers are a fantastic gauge of strength. And so as a CrossFit Total, you get your 1 rep max number for all of those lifts. So you warm up, and then you work towards the amount of weight that you can perform only 1 repetition for. When you get that number, you add all 4 numbers together, and that is your CrossFit Total. However, just having those numbers, having your 1 rep max of those numbers is a great gauge. You don't have to do the CrossFit Total. That's kind of just a CrossFit tracking, like, comparison stat. You know, like, what's Rich Foning's CrossFit Total? So that doesn't actually mean a lot. However, those 4 numbers are very indicative of your strength. So we will begin by trying to establish those numbers. So, right, you got to see where you're at. It's hard to come up with a rule of thumb number, right? Well, I've tried to look it up in the past. I'm like, what is a good baseline number for strength? And the numbers tended to kind of be all over the place, and they tend to be varied based on, one, gender. As a man, you're expected to lift a lot more than a woman. There are outliers. There are absolutely CrossFit girls and powerlifting girls that can outlift me all day long. On average, though, your typical woman should be way weaker than you as a man. Way weaker. My wife cannot possibly come close to my lifts. So I'm not going to give you numbers really to strive towards. So these are roundabout general goals that I'm setting myself. And I'm still kind of working on it. And it is not I don't expect myself to be able to hit these numbers in my 3-month training phase. These are kind of big goals to hit overhead. Once I really establish my baseline, I can move towards it, right? So for the most part, I want to try to add, and you will hit a wall. I want to try to add about 5 pounds a week, 2 to 5 pounds a week in weight on these lifts. It's not exponential, and you can't just do this forever, right? Otherwise, people would be superhero strong, right? There are absolute limits, and it just is, right? When you're starting out, if you have all of your nutrition, everything on point, you absolutely can add a good amount of weight on a weekly basis. But you need to be adding weight. You have to do progressive overload. You can't just go to the gym and not add weight. You won't progress, and you won't get any stronger. If you hit a plateau and you can't add any weight, you need to do something. You need to add sets. You need to throw in something like forced reps. You need to modify things to try to break down the muscle fibers and rebuild them stronger. But just starting out with increasing the weight weekly as a baseline. I know for sure that the bench press number that I want to move towards is 225. 225 is a fantastic goal. It is heavy, and it is something of note, right? Not it like you really that's a very good number to aspire towards. I want to get a 250 pound back squat, which you're thinking 225 for thing. I just, so in my mind, I remember at one point during CrossFit, I had a 240, I think, back squat and a 300 pound deadlift. Although there is definitely a part of my soul that says I need to have a 400 pound deadlift. We'll start with 3 though, guys. And my deadlift, I've definitely, doing CrossFit, I had obviously it was over a 200 pound deadlift, but I, for the love of me, can't remember. It was probably at least 240, possibly getting close to 300. I just can't remember. And those numbers are gone. Anyway, I would recommend doing something like Mark Ripetoe's starting strength program as a good one. I've done it in the past, at least for a little bit, and it's a good one. The 5x5 strength program. There's a bunch of strength programs out there. Pick one and run with it. Follow it. I would, however, recommend not just willy-nilly creating your own. At least at a bare minimum, Google it or consult with ChatGPT and tell it your goals and what you want to do, and it will probably just steal one of those programs and regurgitate it to you anyway. And you can absolutely use ChatGPT to track your progress. I got this today, and you feed it to it. After you pick your training program, you need to dial in your nutrition. You can't be slamming down Oreos and Diet Cokes and expecting to gain muscle. It's not going to happen. You need to get in your protein in a very adequate amount, and you need to eat enough calories. For me, this is going to be difficult. I have ran the numbers, and the conclusion is I need to eat, if I eat right at my maintenance calories, I should be able to increase my strength without getting fat. So I don't want to get fat. So increase strength, not add fat. That is the goal. I've just done a lot of work to not be fat. I don't want to fuck it up, but I do want some strength. So I have calculated my maintenance calories. I do believe they're somewhere around 2,800 calories. Coming from someone who has been on a diet for a long time, and most of that diet eating about 800 calories less. There are many days where I eat 2,000 or less calories. And I have looked at, I ran a sample day of eating through ChatGPT to see what I need to do. It looks daunting. It looks like it's going to be a pain in the fucking ass. And I mean, yes, eating that much, but also fitting that much in your stomach. And that's not like, honestly, 2,800 calories is not a lot. If you've ever watched YouTube videos and watched people eating, 10,000 calorie cheat days, or I've seen at least one person follow Hugh Jackman's Wolverine training diet, which was like 6,000 calories to pack on that much muscle. I absolutely could not eat that much of that food. Packing in 6,000 calories of cake, probably easy. Very calorically dense. Downing 6,000 calories of steak and eggs, wholly different. So anyway, do that. Lastly, if you stuck with me, why I should have covered this at the beginning. Why should I fucking care about getting strong, James? I'm here to learn how to survive and be prepared. What is being strong going to do? A whole shit ton. There are numerous situations in which being strong can literally save your life. If you were in a life or death situation and had to pull yourself up, could you do it? There is absolutely a lot of you listeners that cannot do that. There is a time where I probably could not do it. I lost a lot of my strength by not going to the gym consistently. My earlier point was, if you pack on a bunch of strength, you can do some degree of coasting, right? You're not going to be able to keep your gains indefinitely. However, 3-month, very intensive, very purposeful training once a year, and then doing some degree of maintaining it. You know, you still have to go to the gym, but not as intensely. You will be able to retain some amount of your strength. Your body wants to kind of hold on to it. You won't be able to make it. You might lose some strength, but you should be able to have a gradual coast and not a drastic drop. That's just one instance. Physical altercations with crazy ass lefties. You don't want to be a weak ass bitch, right? A moderately strong male. We've all seen the videos of them just like laying out like 10 lefties. Well, if you're a fat couch potato too, you're not. So, not to mention just there is a baseline normal physical fitness that will extend life expectancy, right? The people that live the longest tend to be really skinny Asian women. However, there's a bell curve in which you can gain some life expectancy by being a moderately strong man with proper balanced hormones, and it declines sharply as you get overweight. So also it declines, it's like I said, it's a bell curve. If you get up into the bodybuilder massively muscled side, then you also start to decline rapidly. So you got to find the sweet spot. Those are my thoughts. I'm going to start this. I was going to start like March 1st, but it's probably going to get pushed off a little bit. It's probably going to be mid-March, maybe June, probably mid-March though. But anyway, this has been James from StrongPunk.com. DIY to survive, you guys.
In the shadow of the old stone bridge, we make our plans, don't need no hedge. Making tools from broken chains, hammer echoes, we break the reins. Candlelight on the workshop bench, fix what we can, come hell or French. No tin hat, just common sense. Brick by brick, we build our fence. We're ready for the storm, come what may. Brothers, sisters in the fray. When the world goes dark, we'll find a way. Together we stand, come night or day. No government hand to guide our fate, just us and ours, and the hours late. Growing gardens and cracked old pots, trading skills, connecting dots. Steel and leather patched and sewn, inventions from the seeds we've grown. Nothing spared, not even pride. In the end, it's side by side. We're ready for the storm, come what may. Brothers, sisters in the fray. When the world goes dark, we'll find a way. Together we stand, come night or day. We're ready for the storm, come what may. Brothers, sisters in the fray. When the world goes dark, we'll find a